Las Vegas, shine your light on me.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. Join award-winning host Dale Davidson as he interviews the most remarkable people you'll find in the entertainment capital of the world. You'll meet entertainers, sports figures, newsmakers, community and business leaders, and people just like you with stories that'll touch your heart. Now, here's Dale Davidson.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. Each and every week we get terrific guests, and we've outdone ourselves this time. Linda Kristy is with us. She's a singer, she's a songwriter, she's an actress, she's a woman of God, and she has a fascinating story. We're really glad to have her. Linda, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate it very much.
I'm so very excited.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad you came on the program.
Thank you.
How long have you been in Las Vegas? Forever.
Actually, I've been in Las Vegas 50 years.
50 years.
I
wow.
sure have. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very close to being a native. It's hard to run into people who have been here that long. Whenever I meet a native here, I say, "So you're the one."
No, I'm only 50 years.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I base everything out of here to go wherever I have to go.
Oh, okay.
For business. That's why I lived here. Originally, you were going to ask me where I'm from.
Yes, exactly.
I
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
I'm from Anderson, Indiana.
I've heard of that, believe it or not. I've heard of Anderson.
Really?
Yeah, I'm from next door. I'm from Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was
I had
that
a wonderful
like?
childhood. I had a wonderful mom and dad that worked hard, did the old-fashioned way.
Yes.
Golly, I can't say anything bad about it, except that I would have liked to have known Jesus when I was small.
Yeah.
But they just weren't taught by their parents, and they weren't taught by their parents.
That's interesting, yeah.
We tried to know, but we couldn't, and that's
Yeah.
why I found out later on in years, which I was sad about that, because I found him, and I
Yeah.
thought, why didn't I find him all those years ago? Abraham Lincoln said, "Teach the children, so it's not necessary to teach the adults." Well, I'm one of those adults.
I was the same. I was in my 40s when I came to
Oh,
Christ.
really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about your experience in coming to Christ. How did you come to Christ?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a quick scenario, because
Yeah, sure.
as you know, I wrote a book,
Right.
and it's called Deception, and the subtitle is "I Married a Con Man."
Yeah, let me hold it up here so people know.
Okay.
It's called Deception, I Married a Con Man by Linda Kristy.
And
there
that
it
is
Yeah.
my little house there, my little mansion.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful place.
I
Beautiful
did very well in
place.
my life. I was very happy.
Yeah.
I was singer-songwriter. I was Steve Wynn's interpreter, Japanese interpreter.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
For his billionaire high rollers, and I traveled a lot and did. So I did very well in my life.
Right.
And then I was widowed, and year and a half, couple of years later, I met another widow, which in that realm you kind of latch onto each other. So I married again. I did not know he was a con man.
Wow.
Legitimately. And
Wow. Or illegitimately, as
or
the case
illegitimately.
may be. Yeah.
It came out
Yeah.
about the same time Bernie Madoff had done
Oh,
his thing.
my Lord.
Well, I didn't
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
so. But anyway, we had a great celebrity life. We had celebrity neighbors in a. I don't know if you want me
Yeah.
to say who they were, but
Sure.
Siegfried and Roy were our neighbors. We
Oh, okay,
kind of
yeah.
got to know them because we all had animals.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful
And
neighborhood.
we walked the animals,
Yeah.
and we had private drives to go, so nobody would. It was quite something.
I'll bet it was.
Celebrity parties and
yeah.
governors,
You name
Congress. I mean, you name it, we had it.
Yeah.
And I entertained at all of them. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have God quite then. I was reading the Bible, but I didn't quite know really what I was doing.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I did the same. You sample for a little while,
Yeah,
trying to figure
right.
out what this is all about before
Exactly.
you have a personal relationship.
And taking
Yeah.
nothing away from he was Jewish, and so he didn't quite want the Bible around, and I thought, well,
Right.
I'll just read it in my private times, and that didn't work. He took it away and threw it. He was very abusive. And anyway, long story short, for the moment, I found out that we had to leave the mansion because he was going to go to prison.
Wow.
He went to prison for fraud. I lost everything. And had a borrowed truck and lived in parking lots.
Wow.
And slept for a while until I found my way. Excuse me, I get a little,
I understand.
And it was quite something, but during those times, as a matter of fact, during the time of the video, I believe you're going to be showing in the secular end,
Right, yeah.
my friend that was shooting it, I always had gardenias in my hair. And we shot that day and didn't have a gardenia. She said, oh, I have 2 gardenia bushes, but they're not in season. And I said, really? She went out, there was 1 small gardenia.
Oh,
I
that's
said,
beautiful.
is this God? So little by
That's
little.
nice that you can see him in small
but
things.
still,
Yeah.
I didn't recognize. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew, that moment.
Yes, yes.
But it came, and
It had to be very hard, having been wealthy and in a celebrity culture here in Las Vegas. There's definitely a strata here of celebrities, headliners, multimillionaires who live here. And you swam in
performed
that
with
pond.
them,
Yeah,
ate
yeah.
with them,
Yeah.
traveled with them. Yeah, I mean, that was in the life that was.
Now, did you feel at the time, were you mad at God? Did you feel, why is this happening to me?
That's very good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
When he first went into prison, the lawyer said, I can't divorce him because they'd put me in prison because we had a company and I needed to do the company. Well, anyway, he went into prison.
Right.
And where I was temporarily staying, that was before I was completely homeless.
Right.
Where I was staying, I crawled in a corner and I slept in that corner for 3 weeks.
Wow.
I was in shock, didn't realize,
Depressed.
I didn't ask anybody for help. Of course, I had family, I wouldn't tell them. I was embarrassed. And so
Pride
I
there,
said, well,
yeah.
I'll go get my Bible. So I went and got the Bible, and I opened it up to Proverbs 1:26, and it said, I'm laughing at your calamities. I said, what?
Yeah.
He's laughing at my... I closed that Bible, and I put it over in the corner,
said-
and I didn't even want to look at it anymore.
Oh, of course.
Well, that was the beginning, what a road that was.
Yeah.
So after that, I came out of, I've always had long hair, and when I was stressing and didn't know how to give it, didn't know all the rules and regulations, I lost about 6 inches off of my hair without it being cut. It just all came out.
Oh,
so
boy.
I thought, okay, well, maybe this is just not working. I'm going to try the Bible again. And then it said, which one of my songs, as I wrote second by second, minute by minute, sometimes it seems too much. And then it said, I'm going to give you rest. Matthew 11:28.
Wow, yeah.
You're going to give me rest? Well, my first spark of hope. And so I thought, I absolutely remember, maybe he is real. But I have found that the slower I go, the easier I recognize. And as a child recognizing, I want to start from day one, first grade, kindergarten, first grade, and learn.
Right.
Because it is a process.
Yes.
And I've learned it is a process.
Yeah, and Jesus says that in the Bible. You have faith as a child. You
Absolutely.
know? And that's really what you were coming back to. You were starting over, and in every way, and he took you back and refined you in fire, didn't he?
Oh, refined me. I find when I read to people and when I minister to people through music or through speaking, that the simpler you explain the gospel, simple things,
Sure.
the easier it is for them to understand. For an instance, if you compare a person, a best friend, and say that you needed something desperately and that best friend put $1,000 in your bank.
Right.
Wow, thank you. That trust is there. And the old way of shaking hands instead of a contract, that trust is there. Well, you got to trust God in the same way and give the illustrations of the simplicity of a friend. The simplicity of a child having an imaginary friend is actually real. As an adult, if I tell somebody I have an imaginary friend, you know how that goes, but I do.
Sure.
And he's real. But the fact is, if you can take, just like you trust a friend and a handshake of a contract, you can trust God and what he says is real.
Yes.
And if you say, oh, he put his son on the cross, that's all. But if you believe, simply believe what he says, then you'll start slowly coming into this grace and this joy and the glory, all this wonderful thing, and think, wow, I'm in the same problems and I feel great. What's happened? A matter of slowly recognizing as a child.
That's a wonderful explanation of a personal relationship with Jesus. That's wonderful, Linda.
Thank you.
We need to take another brief break. We'll be back with Linda Kristy, a beautiful lady inside and out, right after these messages.
No one unless that someone is you. I intend to be independently blue. I want your love. I don't want to borrow. Have it today. Give it tomorrow. My love is your love. There's no love for nobody else.
Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus Outreach Ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez, and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world. A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. We're very pleased to have with us Linda Kristy, who is a singer, songwriter, I just found out a former radio host in Japan. Tell me about that.
Well,
How did you end up in Japan? How did that happen?
I lived in Hawaii for a while, and I studied. It's on my website, lindakristy.com, on my bio. Studied opera and dance.
Wow.
And then I found out I couldn't make any money with opera, so after a year or so, I quit and I started singing.
Okay.
And they called you. Well, at that time, I trained to be a wedding singer.
Oh, okay.
It's quite unique, and so you do different parties. Well, in Hawaii, you have all the melting pot.
Sure.
So I learned, and I didn't know I had a gift for language, so I learned 5 languages. I learned to sing in Filipino, Japanese, Hawaiian, Chinese, and of course I knew one Havanagila.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so
That's great.
so I did all that, and then I was asked to go to Japan by the president of the Musicians Association, and they asked me to sign with Capitol Records.
Oh, that's
So I went
wonderful.
to Japan and I signed with Capitol. Nobody could speak English. I could, speak in Japanese with a book. And so I stayed there so long that every 6 months, the working visa, I would go to Hong Kong for 10 days.
Okay.
And then I would come back, and I had another television show called Haraka no Machi. Haraka no Machi means naked city. It was written off of the old Naked City out of New York.
Sure, sure.
The old detective show.
Sure, the TV show.
And my name was
yeah.
Anna.
Anna.
So they'd have to kill me or pretend to kill me to get me to Hong Kong to change my visa to come back. So I did that and
that's wonderful.
learned the language.
Yeah.
And had television, radio, movies. I did one movie that is still an MGM movie that I did with Richard Jekyll and oh golly, it's called. I was so proud. It's called Battle Beyond the Stars. I thought, oh, I have an MGM movie. I'm in it and all. Luciana Paluzzi, she had just done 007.
Oh, okay.
And so I thought, okay, well, at the end of the filming, why they did this, I do not know. They changed it to the green slime.
The green slime.
Oh, no. So I never told anybody.
What they do in Hollywood is beyond belief.
I was so proud to do my
Yeah.
only movie. But anyway, that's where I started television and radio.
And in Japan, you said that you brought musical guests in for your radio show?
Yeah, I brought every top 10 who, of course, over there, music is, I don't know, somehow.
And they love Western music. They just love it, don't
They do.
Yeah.
I sang French with an Italian band in a Japanese nightclub in northern Japan. I'll tell you.
That's great.
What? I mean, I could sit and tell you
What a
stories
life.
and stories and
Wow.
stories, but yeah.
Wow. And then you came back to Las Vegas from Japan?
I did. My agent told me that there was a showing, kind of audition or whatever it was, for
Right.
2,000 slots. And whoever the top 5 were will get great positioning in Las Vegas.
Right, yeah.
And
yeah.
so I came back for that, which is in my book. I explain all that in the
Right.
book. I came back for that, and how fortunate I was to be one of the 5.
Wow.
And one of the other ones, Tony DeAndrea was one of the other ones, and he was fortunate enough to open with Tom Jones for years. So he
okay.
did well.
That's
And
great.
we did well, and that's where Tom had his managers, this is going back, manager, Lloyd Greenfield, which is no longer with us, knew Miss Cherry, Mama Cherry, from the Copacabana in Tokyo, which is my friend, when I opened with Ella Fitzgerald.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Small world.
I know. So I started interpreting because Steve needed an interpreter, and they knew I spoke Japanese.
Okay.
So along with the singing, then I was interpreting.
Yeah, and that built your wealth and
Oh,
the
my.
ability to have a mansion and all that right here
Yes,
in Las Vegas.
I was involved with, my dear friend came to see a show of mine. I met Mr. Al Glasgow. He was the owner of Atlantic City Action News. It was newspaper.
Right.
And he would be the interpreter, and not the interpreter. I was the interpreter for Steve, and then he would come for Donald Trump when Donald had the Taj Mahal.
Right.
And he would have their highest high rollers, Japanese from Australia, and they would go in and do that.
How
and we were on the
cosmopolitan
phone.
this is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So he actually, Mr. Glasgow, taught me, which is in the book, taught me how to invest very well. And at that time, the investments were very good with casinos, but I was diversified. So I did very well in investments. It paid very well interpreting. I went back and forth to Japan on a private jet all by myself.
Wow.
Several times. I've been to their private islands. We
It's
can
a
talk
whole
on this
different
a whole
world, yeah.
Actually, it is in the book.
Yeah. Let's mention that again. Deception. I Married a Con Man by Linda Kristy, which we can get on Amazon, I imagine, and
Yes.
BarnesandNoble.com.
Yeah. Well, not Barnes and Noble. We went straight with Amazon.
Oh, you
because it
did?
was
Okay. Okay, that's great. That's great. Now, after your husband, who turned out to be a con man,
He did.
cleaned you out, I see that you have a great chapter in there about going to prison, visiting him in prison.
Oh, you're not going to ask me, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not.
Tell me about that. What was that like? Talk about from the sublime to the ridiculous, huh?
Oh my heavens.
Yeah.
Like, it was within, I guess it still gets to me. It was in a month by the time we were in the mansion that he told me he was going to prison from the trial in Washington State.
Right.
To prison. And I'm from Indiana, and that doesn't mean anything bad. That just means I went to high school. I did I've done all, I washed dishes.
The pretty girl next door is what you were.
And I had seen TV. I've seen prison on TV.
Sure.
To go the first time ever into a prison, I did. And I didn't realize that when I went into line, and this is in the book, when I got in line to go into the holding cell, they had to strip search me.
Oh, boy.
Because at that time they had had some bad problems with people bringing in drugs. And the most vicarious places, the different, anyway, I won't go into that, but I did get strip searched, which was devastating. I'm from Anderson.
That's right. People don't do this.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, I got through, and I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to be married to him, but I had to because of the lawyer. And when I first went in there, we were allowed to hug for 4 seconds.
Oh, boy.
Can't touch. And I sat down and I thought in my head, what am I doing here? Where's the cameras? This has got to be a movie.
How did this happen?
Yes.
And to think, how did this reality descend upon me?
And then he says, oh, don't worry, we're going to take a picture. Over here is a guy that he murdered his whole family, but he's taking our picture. I said, where's my life? Anyway, I had left. I mean, it is, I don't want to break down, so I'm trying my very best to kind of quickly run across this,
that's
taking
hard.
nothing away from your interview.
Oh, no, that's hard. That's hard.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So I got through, and I had done that several times. I got used to it, actually.
Yes.
But I had to, because I had to keep the business, I had to learn some stuff, and so the lawyer made me go back and learn from Larry. And I didn't know he was a con man still at that time.
Really?
I knew, here's God. Your divine implant sense, Ecclesiastes 3:11. Your divine implant sense, that's out of the Amplified.
Right.
I knew something was wrong. And I didn't know what to do.
You could sense it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
God's saying, Okay, I didn't know what he was trying to tell me, but it was wrong. It was all wrong down the way.
Wow.
I didn't know how to get out of it. They were in complete control of me. And I know that's one of the things that I get asked. You knew. Didn't you know? No, I didn't know.
There's no reason for you to know. How would you know that? You had no experience in that world.
But people don't believe me.
Yeah.
And when all of this was said and done, and the investors in the company and the millions that were spent, I was responsible. So I thought everybody was going to inundate me.
Sure.
So I don't know why I stayed here, but I had a friend of mine wanted to be manager, and when it said, you stay here, we'll make a business. I said, what about everybody? And that I know my knowing machine is good.
Right.
Nobody. One person on Facebook badmouthed me and told me I was a liar.
Really?
But 50 of them could have come to me and buried me.
Oh, sure.
Nobody touched me. And I will give you refuge.
Right.
1,000 at my left and 10,000 at my right, and
Yes.
they will not touch you. Absolutely, and that's in Psalm 91.
Wow.
No, Psalm 91, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
marvelous.
at that time, I knew all of it was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. I just knew I had to get out, and I didn't know how to get out. It was abuse, along with crime, and that's why I have actually become an armchair psychologist.
Yeah, and a Christian. That's
and
why
a Christian.
it's really why it came about, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I talk so much because
No,
I have
I
so
love
much
this.
in my head.
No,
And
I'm glad you're telling us all
but
of this.
it's all comes down to him.
Sure. And you're helping a lot of people right now, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I hope
People
so.
all
in
over
Jesus'
the world.
Holy name, I hope so.
You know, as people struggle and have these difficulties in their lives, they often can later on look back and say, okay, I see why now, and I see why you allowed this to happen. The Lord allows things to happen to us, but what we know is He always walks with us. He walks through these things with us, doesn't
What we know now.
Yes, but at the time, yeah.
I mean,
But you
I've listened, I have survived it. Now I'm on my way. I am the victor, not the victim.
Yes.
And
yes.
I'm in the Bible so much. I mean, I almost can't get out of it except for performing and going and speaking.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah.
He leads me.
That's wonderful.
And the great part about it is the simplicity. I wish people could listen to the simplicity to knowing Him is so easy. Just your divine implant.
Yeah.
Just know. When you go into a room, you could cut the air with a knife. You know something's wrong. That's your divine implant sense. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Your divine implant. Your divine guarantee. It's so simple. Everybody makes it hard.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they do. They say I can't learn all the rules.
No.
There are no rules, really.
Just
you know?
believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus is real.
Yes,
And think of Him as like a child.
Yeah, yeah.
He's my best friend. Oh, really? Well, it's true.
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. We need to take another brief break, Linda. We're going to
Okay.
be back with Linda Kristy talking about her career, which is really ripping right along.
Yes.
And she's speaking and she's singing and she's doing all kinds of things. And her agent, who is also mine, Mr. Bruce Marin, who's here with us, is booking you.
loveliest man.
Oh, yeah, he's a great guy. We'll be back with Linda Kristy right after this.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what would I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera.
A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you.
Hello, I'm Dale Davidson. I hope you're enjoying Las Vegas Tonight. The guests we've had on the program are wonderful examples of Christians who take seriously Christ's command to love one another. In addition to the hundreds of television stations across the United States now carrying our show, we have been presented with the outstanding opportunity to bring these inspiring stories to people around the world. An international satellite network in the Russian and Ukrainian languages has asked us to provide them with episodes to be broadcast to millions. To make a gift to support this very special effort, please send your check or money order to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. To use your credit or debit card, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you. Welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. We have a fascinating guest today, Kristy, and she is just a remarkable woman, as you can tell, a pretty woman and a talented woman. And we're going to talk about her music and her speaking career and everything she's doing, which is a lot. You've come back from an awful lot, and yet you're coming on strong. Let's talk about your latest CD, which is called Hope. Tell us about the title.
The title was given to me by God.
Yeah.
Now, this is very interesting.
Yes.
Oh, well, I know you can't hear it, but let's see. Okay, while I was sitting in my apartment, which was the first time I ever was allowed after my homelessness to afford a roof over my head, a small apartment, and I write. And I always have something up to record, and this is what I do. I write poetry, I had never, ever written gospel. Didn't know what it was.
Sure, yeah.
Now I do, it's Christianese, I know that.
Yeah.
But, so I was sitting, and all of a sudden, no kidding, my bones started vibrating like lasers. And I was writing so fast. I'm not, I can feel it, and I'm writing so fast.
It was hard to keep up with the flow.
I couldn't hardly keep up with it.
Yeah.
And
I know the feeling, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so he wrote in the Song of Hope, okay, on the bridge, which is the hook, the middle part, is Psalm 91, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High remains fixed and stable. Okay. It is, he who dwells in that secret place in heaven knows the mystery of his knowledge each day. You are the Most High. Oh, don't get me started. I can go and go.
That's great. That's wonderful.
But he put that, he who dwells in the secret place, he put that in.
Right.
He put, okay. 117, Ecclesiastes 117, no. Ecclesiastes 117.
Right.
And not only that, I found out 3 years later that he put that line in. I found out, I was reading in Ecclesiastes, there's that line.
Oh, there it is.
Feel the hope you've been given. You'll know when that light's in your heart. That spirit with wings perched in your soul. Well, but you'll in Ecclesiastes 1:17 it says you'll know when the light's in your heart, and you'll know the hope. So he put hope,
and there was the word,
and right there, and it was in the music that I didn't know that he wrote. So when you hear these songs, they will anoint you.
Right.
They are his words.
Wow.
All of it. And you feel so good. And when you have these songs and you listen to these songs, one little story.
Sure.
Okay, good.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
That's why we're here.
I was singing at a funeral. My dear friend Barbara Ballard in school, her mom died. And so she passed and she asked me to sing. So I went over and I sang You Touched Me, which was my mom's favorite, which is on number 8 on the album, lindakristy.com. You can get it, thank you. And I sang You Touched Me, I Feel You When I Pray. I think I told you the other day, as the rivers flow into the sea, it never gets full. It wasn't me, you touched me and made me live again.
That's beautiful.
Ecclesiastes 1:7.
Wow.
I did it wrong. The other one was 1:17. Anyway,
Sure.
you can look it up. I mean, just look it up.
We want them to.
Yeah. So that was another one. So anyway, I did the music. I sang the song, and it was all very solemn. We're in Anderson, Indiana, and it was a very beautiful over at my friend's home. So I get up, and I walk over, and my Barbara comes and says, "Thank you, Linda. I have a surprise for you. There's 2 little girls, 9-year-old girls, standing there. They're twins." She said, "These are my grandchildren." I said, "Oh." She said, "Listen to this." And they said, "I need forgiveness, God. Would you drive my car?" They did my whole song on God, would you drive my car? These 2 9-year-old girls.
Wow.
You think I would learn? But I took the wrong turn. Fans at 9 years old. So I thought, you know what? God's good.
Oh,
and
how cheerful.
He blessed them through the music, just like it blesses everybody.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We want to mention it again. It's Hope by Linda Kristy, which you can go to lindakristy.com and purchase the CD right there. Eight tracks, and some of them are they're all gospel songs. They're all Christian, contemporary Christian, really, yeah.
Eye of the Storm, number 4?
Yeah, number 4.
Oh.
The Eye of the Storm.
There's another one.
Coming from the Midwest, you know all about tornadoes.
Oh,
And
yes.
you talk about the eye of the storm, which is the quiet, the only quiet part of a tornado.
I wrote that when I was in Indiana.
Yeah.
My father had passed, as a matter of fact. And I wrote The Eye of the Storm, which is, the hurricane is out there, it's swirling so high, but I have your grace on me. I'm right in the eye. Your calm has come on me, your face is so warm. Your hands came and put me in the eye of the storm. I mean, it's like,
wonderful.
So I had an arranger help me with that particular, for the music, but, I'm high right now. I don't know if you can know. I mean, I didn't take drugs. I'm God high.
She's floating.
I am. So
that's wonderful.
Okay, I didn't mean to. Did you want to ask me anything else?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
We have plenty of time. I wanted to talk about a little bit about your career now. I've seen your music. I saw your secular music, and so is the audience, because we've been dropping that in.
Good.
After each segment. But now you're getting ready to tour. Are you gonna promote this particular album on tour?
Well, actually, yes. If it's all right, because actually it's quite a unique situation.
Right.
Bruce, our lovely agent, Mr. Marin, has allowed me 2 sides.
Okay.
Because I'm so hot on fire with God, I have to do the testimony and the song side, and I'm hoping I'll be able to get the songs to
give your witness at the same time you're singing.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Have a song ministry, and on the other side, the secular side, I open up with boogie woogie music.
Oh, great!
And then it's more on the crime aspect and the abuse, so
Right.
I can try to
Talk
get
about how
into
you survived all of that.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where I get into the armchair psychology and what I have learned, hoping that I can teach them what to look for in specific situations for people And it really does work. After I speak, I would like them to go away with an awareness of choice.
Right.
And so far it's been working very well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, so I'll be doing this for another 20 years.
Oh, good. Good. We want you to. We're going to come back with Linda Kristy after these brief messages.
It's magic. Why do I tell myself these things that happen are all really true? When in my heart I know the magic is my love for.
Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus Outreach Ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez, and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world.
Hello, I'm Dale Davidson. I hope you're enjoying Las Vegas Tonight. The guests we've had on the program are wonderful examples of Christians who take seriously Christ's command to love one another. In addition to the hundreds of television stations across the United States now carrying our show, we have been presented with the outstanding opportunity to bring these inspiring stories to people around the world. An international satellite network in the Russian and Ukrainian languages has asked us to provide them with episodes to be broadcast to millions. To make a gift to support this very special effort, please send your check or money order to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. To use your credit or debit card, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you. Welcome back to this very special edition of Las Vegas Tonight. We have Linda Kristy, a singing star, a songwriter, an actress, a television and radio host, and now a speaker going around the country and talking about the experience you had, which was a pretty terrible experience, of finding out your husband was a con man and ending up basically penniless. It reminds me, and I think I told you this when I met you the first time. Yeah, and homeless. That's real penniless, yeah. It reminds me of the Debbie Reynolds story, you know, because there she was, the same as you, at the peak, at the top.
Did a lot of her shows. She's a nice lady, yeah.
Yeah, she really was.
She did fall. Yeah, she hit bottom.
But she came back too.
She came back.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about what your intentions are in as far as your career is concerned. You want to go out, you want to speak, you have a couple of basic messages. You want to help other women and men as well, spouses, to recognize the signs of abuse, the signs of criminality, the signs of, these kinds of things?
Mostly what I didn't get.
Yeah.
The signs of abuse.
Yeah.
And
it's a controlling issue, isn't it? Yeah.
Incredible controlling. He had what they call bird dogging. He would, like, for instance, I was at this the conference table, and I thought I would help. We're living in the mansion. I said, I brought my ledgers, and I said, well, living here, we're going to have to, because I didn't realize that, could I have 30,000? Could I have 100,000? I kept saying, well, don't don't you have any? Well, don't worry about it. I've got potato farms and blueberry farms, which, by the way, is in the book.
Oh, geez.
Blueberry farms, potato farms in Canada, which I didn't know he was in prison in Canada before that.
Wow.
I've got him in Canada, and they'll come through. But this year, that crop has been bad.
Yeah.
Being in Canada, which is in the book.
Oh, it's always something. Yeah.
David Foster was his buddy because he had David. Hello, David. Hope you don't mind me telling you that he found David in a very young age in Canada, playing piano in a club, and then brought him here, and they've been buddies for 50 years ever since. 50, 60 years. And so that was his only request when he had died, that I called David.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I did. And we had a cute conversation, which, by the way, is in the book.
Wow.
But as far as I do want to leave my mark onto helping people, and if I can even go into abuse places to cheer them up, help them, whatever. It is my ministry, my want to go, and if they want to talk about God, fine. If they want to talk about something else, fine. But I'm always going to get in there and get it.
Sure.
But the main thing that God has put on my heart, along with the abuse, when I get on my feet quite some, I would like to invest in water wells. Not only people that I can help, children, but they need clean water.
Yeah. In the third world, this is really needed. Yeah.
In Tennessee, in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I want to go back into these places and see if they have adequate, well, look what happened in Ohio or Michigan.
Right, sure.
I mean, I don't know that I could help, but I'm on my way. That's kind of a mission.
Man, that's
and,
a great mission.
Hey, if God gives you a desire, that's what he gave me.
Yeah.
So I'll try, and there are a lot of, but it did remind me, I have seen the third world countries build these and literally change a village's life, obviously.
Oh, sure.
But that's kind of what I would like to do.
Oh, that's a wonderful goal. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah.
I want to make sure before our final segment here, it's hard to believe an hour is ripped right by. I want to make sure, once again, that people know about your book. And it's called Deception, I Married a Con Man by Linda Kristy. And you can get it on Amazon. And we want to mention, of course, the CD one more time. It's called Hope by Linda Kristy, and she'll be visiting a town near you soon.
I will.
As she goes on tour to sing and to give her testimony and to talk about how Jesus Christ has changed her life. And you can find out all about this by going to lindakristy.com, which we'll put up on the screen here so everybody knows.
And if they would like me, if they would like to book me or like me to speak to children or anything, I am that's my mission. That's my calling now. And he said that in your latter years, you'll be busy. And that's what I fully intend
That's
to
wonderful. That's wonderful that you have so much energy. And you're
Christian energy.
Yeah. And you want to get out there and you want to talk to people and you want to change lives. And, I've experienced this in Christian broadcasting. You wonder sometimes, these shows go out and this particular program goes all over the world, but you get a letter every now and then that says, you changed my life. And that makes it all worthwhile. And you're gonna see that face to face, and you're going to have people come up to you and say, thank you for changing my life. Thank you for leading me to Christ. It's a wonderful feeling.
I was coming out of a restaurant not long ago, and I saw a lady and a man coming in the restaurant, and she was a bit haggard, but you could tell as a woman to a woman, she was trying to put on some makeup.
Right.
So you could tell.
Yeah.
So I was walking out, and I said, wow, don't you look pretty? And she didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
So I was walking to my car, had to be 50 feet. She came out and opened the door and she said, "You just made my day."
Oh, that's so sweet.
A blessing.
Yeah.
You never know what kindness can do.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I can feel that right now.
Oh, and you're going to make some people's lives,
Oh,
not just
I
their
want
day.
to.
Yes.
I want them to know how wonderful it is.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry, but we're out of time. It's been, you got to come back.
Okay.
And update us and tell us about the tour and your speaking and singing and your CD and how the book's doing and all the rest
How
of it.
God has guided me.
Yes, that's
yes.
wonderful.
Thank
It's
you.
So great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. God bless
Thank
you.
you. God bless you.
Yes, thank you. Linda Kristy. And once again, you can find her at lindakristy.com. Thank you for watching, and as I close every program, I want to remind you to please walk with Him. God bless you.
Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus Outreach Ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world. A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you.
Hello, I'm Dale Davidson. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Las Vegas Tonight. Allow me to take just a few moments to let you know how you can learn more about some of the fascinating guests that I've interviewed. My new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints, is now available around the world. In it, I profile amazing people who make Las Vegas something much more than just a place to party. These compelling stories often tell of people who came to Las Vegas for reasons much different than the innovative ministries they ended up leading right here in Sin City. Take, for example, Tommy Scott, known as Hitman to his fellow members of an infamous gang in South Central Los Angeles. Tommy was serving time in a Las Vegas jail and contemplating suicide when a couple of pastors visited him in the lockup and led him to Christ. Tommy immediately began studying the Word and has become an on-fire evangelist and Christian author. Then there's Annie Meadows. Annie began life in a rural part of Kentucky, increasingly was fascinated with the occult, and eventually became a full-fledged witch. Rejecting anything having to do with God, she angrily vowed never to attend church or have anything at all to do with religion. Then, like Tommy, she had an encounter with the living Christ and now travels the world as a gospel singer and writes Christian children's books. Pastor Chris Chappell was an avowed atheist who also wanted nothing to do with the Lord. He was a successful businessman who felt he sure remarkable turnaround, and his church is serving that community in amazing ways. Doc Jones traveled to Las Vegas from New York on a personal mission to make as much money as he could. A born entrepreneur, he started a photography business that specialized in taking pictures of groups of partiers at the hot nightclubs on the Strip. He then learned that by referring young guys to the city strip clubs, he could pick up lots of cash from the club's owners. That evolved into sending young women who were wannabe strippers to these so-called gentlemen's clubs, and then he managed their careers. Eventually, he felt so empty and despondent that he too thought seriously of suicide. Hearing a sermon about the prodigal son caused him to dedicate his life to Christ. Now an exceptional musician and composer of gospel rap, hip-hop, and spoken word genres, he is helping change Las Vegas from a place where sin abounds to a city where grace abounds more. Pastor Clegg Seth was an aspiring actor and screenwriter in Hollywood and a strong Christian who wanted to make a real difference for Christ in the entertainment world. But the Lord called him to establish a crisis hotline for runaway teens who were coming to Hollywood to pursue their silver screen dreams. He then started halfway houses for men and women with substance abuse and other problems. He also helped set up a similar men's home in Las Vegas. At one point, he developed a gambling habit, but the Lord delivered him from that problem, and he now devotes his life to sharing Christ with men in prison, serving seniors in a church setting, along with visits to nursing homes and hospitals. He has continued his quest to influence Hollywood through a ministry called the Christian Studio. I personally really look up to Clegg Seth as a model of how a Christian should live and serve others. He truly is one of the Vegas saints. Read these stories and more in this 226-page book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You can get your copy in several different ways. Go to my website, vegassaints.org, or order it on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. It's just $15.99 plus shipping. For more information or to make a donation to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries that will help us keep this program on the air, please call 702-480-3989. Or you can write to us at Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. And thank you so much for watching Las Vegas Tonight.
You've been watching Las Vegas Tonight with Dale Davidson. Send your tax-deductible gifts to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Or call 702-480-3989. Thanks for watching.